TG Geeks, episode 61, February 29th, 2016. Both $1 million peoples at Comic-Con? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we are coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from lovely, it's pronounced Carmina Burana, not Carmina Burana, Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, how about that? We got some news, so let's get to it.
I had to bring this one story up because about a week or so ago, somebody on another news source, I will not say who, but I know who it is, reported that they had some inside information from Warner Brothers regarding the new Justice League film. And apparently, this inside source said that Warner's was very unhappy with the way Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice was testing.
Okay.
And because it was testing so poorly, it had them so scared that they were actually going to push the filming of Justice League way back.
Oh, my.
And what was bugging me is that the person who was reporting this gave nothing substantial. Absolutely nothing. And then what ended up happening is all these other news sources started reporting the same thing.
They jumped on it. Yeah.
They jumped on it, but they all quoted this
article,
guy. Yeah. They quoted this guy and this article saying, this is what we've heard. And they were reporting it as gospel.
Well, that happens. That happens in this media crazy
it does
world.
When you're trying to jump on something.
We've been guilty of it too.
Yeah, we have been guilty of it, but not this time.
Yay for us!
Hey, yeah, I was extremely proud of myself. I held off. I was really skeptical because there was just something in the article itself, and I actually saw an interview with the person who wrote that story, and I could get nothing definitive about why was Warner Brothers apparently so scared. I mean, the entire story was just nothing but ambiguity. Well, this just came in a few days ago, and this puts the whole thing to bed. The filming for Justice League Part 1, because it is a two-part film, is set to start on April 11th.
And that is from?
This is from comicbookresources.com, and they actually got this from Zack Snyder, the director.
Aha.
He actually said something on that. So this one I would kind of think is a little bit more legit. I mean, the way the story is,
it has a little more credulity.
It has a little, credulity. Yes, both Warner Brothers and director Zack Snyder made the announcement that Justice League will go into production a few weeks after the release of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. So there we are. This movie is going to be made. They're not going to juggle with the entire film schedule in establishing their universe like everybody was afraid they were going to do. I mean, personally, I think Justice League should come out a little bit later anyway, but be that as it may, I am just so enormously happy that we did not fall prey to a bad story.
Yeah, we don't always manage, but we try to vet things that we know something about.
Exactly. And
all bets are off for things that we don't know about.
Or if I'm going to jump on a story, at least go with a source that has a lot of weight, a strong reputation.
Exactly.
This one news source, and I'm out of decency, I will not say who it is, but I do not view them very highly. So that's why I was looking for other news sources. And every time I saw another story pop up on that, they all quoted this one original source, and so I held off, and I'm really happy that I did. So anyway, people, if any of you are worried that Justice League is not going to be made anytime soon, that maybe Warner's is going to push the new Batman solo flick with Ben Affleck, or as everybody likes to call him, Batfleck, push that up, rest assured that's not going to be the case. Justice League will be the first one made out of the gate outside as soon as Dawn of Justice is over. And part 1, which has the tentative, the working title of Caveman.
Caveman.
Yeah, there's a lot of people kind of wondering what that might mean. There are some rumors going on. But in any case, that movie will be released to theaters on November 17th of 2017. So there you are on that.
Okay.
Now, when I was a kid, there was this book that, as a kid, I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. It was... I thought of it as a science fiction, but there are other sources that are actually kind of referring to it more as a fantasy, and I don't think so. I still think because of some of the things, the elements that are in this book, that I tend to say it's a sci-fi. When I read it, I was really captivated by it. The book is called A Wrinkle in Time, and I remember ABC did an adaptation of this. It was a 2-part adaptation, and I remember I was really kind of curious about it. It had something of an interesting cast. I had great hopes for it. I watched it, and I'm just going to say it. I thought it sucked. I mean, plain and simple. I thought it was absolutely dreadful. Well, ABC, or in this case, Disney. Well, ABC, Disney, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. Disney is going to be developing this movie again, which I thought was a little puzzling. And for anybody who doesn't know what the synopsis is about, this is what is inside the book jacket of the novel. It was a dark and stormy night. Why does it always have to be a dark and stormy night?
Just because.
Just because. It was a dark and stormy night. Meg Murray, her small brother Charles Wallace, and her mother had come down to the kitchen for a midnight snack when they are upset by the arrival of a most disturbing stranger. "Wild nights are my glory," the unearthly stranger told them. "I just caught in a downdraft and blown off course. Let me sit down for a moment and then I'll be on my way. Speaking of ways, by the way, there is such a thing as a tesseract." Now, tesseract, in case the reader doesn't know, is a wrinkle in time. To tell more would rob the reader of the enjoyment of Miss Lengel's unusual book. Miss Lengel, she was the author. A Wrinkle in Time was the winner of the Newbery Medal in 1963, is the story of the adventures in space and time of Meg, Charles Wallace, and Calvin O'Keefe, the athlete, student, and one of the most popular boys in high school. They are in search of Meg's father, a scientist who disappeared while engaged in secret work for the government on the Tesseract project. Now, Disney, as I said, they had previously adapted this for a 2004 TV movie, and everybody who saw it pretty much gave it a big old fat raspberry. Turns out even the author, let's see, what do I, trying to find her name here. Lengel is, I've just got her last name. I don't have her first name, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, she didn't care for it very much either. And when she pretty much looked at it, she said, well, yeah, it's pretty much what I hoped for, or pretty much what I expected. And apparently she had a very, very low expectation bar for that.
Madeline.
Thank you.
Madeline,
thank you. Now, what is also interesting is that the director for this is Ava DuVernay, who was originally on the short list to do Black Panther for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It didn't work out. There's a lot of finger pointing as to why it didn't work out. Doesn't really matter. Apparently, she's been wanting to get into sci-fi and getting into the whole Disney family sort of thing. Well, now here it is. Maybe it's not part of a big old franchise like a Marvel film might be, but she still has her wish. She's going to be part of a Disney project. It's going to be a science fiction, a family science fiction story, from what I remember. I mean, this is really a family film. So I'm kind of intrigued by it. It could be interesting. If anybody wants to read more on this, this will be in our show notes on tggeeks.com for this episode. Now, another movie that we've been reporting on a little bit on our website is a Steven Spielberg film called Ready Player One. Now, let me give a brief synopsis as to what this is all about. It's the year 2044, and the real world is a very ugly place. Like most of humanity, Wade Watts escapes his grim surroundings by spending his waking hours jacked into the Oasis, a sprawling virtual utopia that lets you be anything you want to be, a place where you can live and play and fall in love on any of 10,000 planets.
Oh, my.
Now, like most of humanity, Wade dreams of being the one to discover the ultimate lottery ticket that lies concealed within this virtual world. For somewhere inside this giant networked puzzle, Oasis creator James Holliday has hidden a series of fiendish puzzles that will yield massive fortune and remarkable power to whoever can unlock them. For years, millions have struggled fruitlessly to attain this prize, knowing only that Holliday's riddles are based in the pop culture he loved, that of the late 20th century. And for years, millions have found in his quest another means of escape, just retreating into happy, obsessive study of Holliday's icons. Like many of his contemporaries, Wade is as comfortable debating the finer points of John Hughes' oeuvre, playing Pac-Man, or reciting Devo lyrics as he is scrounging power to run his Oasis rig. And then Wade stumbles upon the first puzzle. Suddenly the whole world is watching, and thousands of competitors join the hunt, among them certain powerful players who are willing to commit very real murder to beat Wade to his prize. Now, the only way for Wade to survive and preserve everything he knows is to win. But to do so, he may have to leave behind his oh-so-perfect virtual existence and face up to life and love in the real world he's always been so desperate to escape. Now, this is a Spielberg film.
Smoke.
Yeah, lots of smoke.
or fog.
Yeah, light rays, whatever gimmick it is that he inherited from Stanley Kubrick. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. No, but Spielberg knows how to direct big.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not producing it, he's directing it.
Really? I thought he had retired.
He's directing this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought he had retired and was just even Kathleen Kennedy, I mean, he pushed her up into the Star Wars and all of that. So,
that is true.
I mean,
but
she was his right hand
for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it's possible maybe he had decided that he wanted to just retire and maybe just produce films instead of directing.
Bored.
Well, or maybe this project came along and he thought, I have to do this.
Yeah. Well,
this is too big. This is too sprawling.
Smart.
He's a very smart filmmaker, and they've already got three of their actors for this movie. The character of Wade Watts is going to be played by a young man named Ty Sheridan. He is going to be in the upcoming X-Men Apocalypse film. He plays Cyclops, and if anybody wants to know something that he's already done, go out and check Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh, dear.
He's in that one, and I've seen it, and the kid's a good actor. He's a good actor. I think he's going to be great for this part. I'm very excited for him. And Olivia Cook, who was in Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, she will be playing a character named Evelyn Cook / it's supposed to be Artemis, but take the E out of Artemis and replace it with a 3. I mean, that's a computer handle.
Okay.
And an actor named Ben Mendelsohn, who I believe is the bad guy. I'm not sure. He's playing somebody named Nolan Sorrento. Anyway, this looks like it's going to be massive. I'm actually excited for this film.
It sounds fun.
I think this is going to be just a really, really great flick. And the screenplay is being written by the author.
Oh, cool.
I like that because that will help maintain the integrity of the story when adapting it from book to the screen. And all these production companies are involved. Amblin, D-Line, DreamWorks, Village Roadshow, Warner Brothers. Warner's is distributing it. Film arrives in theaters March 30th, 2018.
Wow.
Well, it's going to take that long just to put this beastie together because it looks like it's going to be huge.
Wow.
All the more reason to go to Warner's. And then for the next story, and I picked this one only because there was all this scuttle about CW not wanting to renew Legends of Tomorrow after its first season. Well,
like they were talking, we weren't even going to get a first season.
Well, first there was talking about canceling it before it even premiered. Well, luckily it premiered, but there was still a lot of rumor that because of the overall expense of this series, that they were just not going to renew it. Well, they may need to rethink that because the ratings are continuing to climb, and the episode that was just on, which was called, the title of that was Star City 2046, and saw the return of Stephen Amell as a much older Oliver Queen. That episode got the biggest ratings of the season, or second biggest ratings of the season.
Wow.
First biggest were the pilot, especially part 2. This episode, the ratings went through the roof. In fact, they were so good, they actually beat NBC.
Wow.
Now, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
When the CW, and their expectations are much lower, so they could get a lower rating and still be very happy with it. But when it can actually excel, especially in the demographics over NBC, hey, CW, you have got a hit property on your hands. You really need to think about keeping this show on.
Exactly.
Because the very element that helped to make that episode so incredibly strong is, and I'm not just talking bringing Stephen Amell, but the idea of taking an element from the DC comic book universe and inserting it into your episode to help build. I mean, this is the best universe building you could possibly have. And your geeky fans out there are going to know. They're going to watch. They're going to tell their friends. Their friends are going to tell their friends, and so on and so on. And your ratings will continue to go up if you keep the show on.
Yeah.
So, hey, get the sponsors, they want their commercials to be seen, and if there are more people watching that show, then that means more people watching those commercials, which means
money
more
in your pocket.
Exactly. So I think this is I'm rather happy about it.
Cool.
With any luck, yes, with any luck, this will signal a bright future for all things CW.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jonathan Latt, author of the pulp novel The Geek, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
And everybody that's ever listened before knows what that music is. That's our birthday music. Here are a few selected birthdays for February 29th through March 6th, 2016. February 29th, Dinah Shore and Gioacchino Rossini, but born in 1792.
Well, yeah, not the same year as Dinah Shore.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to watch her daily show, her daily talk show. I mean, it was religious. I loved it. Well, I loved her.
Yeah, Dinah Shore's pretty cool. March 1st, Jensen Ackles and Mr. Ronnie Howard.
Yeah, I don't think he goes by Ronnie anymore.
Oh, that's right. It's Ron Howard.
Maybe his wife still calls him Ronnie.
You never know. And Lupita Nyong'o on March 1st. Roger Daltrey.
Wow.
And George Eads and Dirk Benedict. We're going to have an opportunity to talk with Dirk Benedict,
had a chance. It didn't work out.
Didn't happen. Oh well.
Yeah, bummed by that.
March 2nd, Daniel Craig and John Bon Jovi, as well as Dr. Seuss or Theodore Geisel. March 2nd, also Karen Carpenter. What a tortured soul.
She was very tortured, and it's a shame because her voice was there was just this purity to it.
Yep.
That it was just such a joy to listen to.
Yep. Also on March 2nd, Gates McFadden, who's going to be here at Phoenix Comicon.
Looking forward to seeing her.
March 3rd, James Doohan and Alexander Graham Bell. March 4th, Chaz Bono, or Bono. Sorry. Bono.
Right.
Also, March 4th, Chris Squire.
Yeah, the late Chris Squire. He just
Late
recently
Chris
passed
Squire,
away due to leukemia. It was a real shame.
Yep. Also, March 4th, Rick Dees.
You met him.
I was actually sitting in a plane next to him.
And you guys actually
riding
struck up
from Atlanta to here to Phoenix.
And you guys struck up a conversation.
Yeah, we did. So we talked almost the whole way here.
That's awesome.
Kind of neat. Also, March 4th, Antonio Vivaldi, 1678. March 5th, Matt Lucas.
Little Britain.
Little Britain. Also, Penn Jillette.
Oh, God, the man's... I remember when we saw
Penn
and Teller in
Yep.
Vegas.
Oh, my gosh.
God, that was just nuts.
It was a crazy show. Also, March 5th, Jake Lloyd.
And he's not bitter.
And Paul Blackthorne.
Hey, we just saw him in Arrow the other night.
Yeah. Rex Harrison and Dean Stockwell. March 6th, David Gilmour.
Another one of my guitar heroes.
Lou Costello, Rob Reiner, Kiri Takanawa, Dame Kiri Takanawa,
Yes.
should we say, and Lauren Mizell, and Cyrano de Bergerac, born in 1619. Yeah. And also Michelangelo, 1475.
Wow.
We have the Michelangelo exhibit. We have to.
That's right. We need to go to that pretty soon.
Here at the Phoenix Art Museum. So that is it for the birthdays this time.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Once they were a podcast. Hello and welcome to Casual Mode, the podcast for geeks of all trades and masters of none. Then, they went dormant. But then, he returned. But he didn't return alone. Chibi, let's do this. Casual Mode, now the channel for geeks of all trades and masters of none. This is Pokemon Fan Theories. This is Fun 5e Builds. Another casual vlog. Tabletop RPGs, Pokemon Talk, and a whole bunch of other random What can I say? I'm ever so slightly lazy. Search Casual Mode on YouTube, Casual Mode Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and Shadowbird712 on Twitter. Until next time, casual fanatics, keep it casual, y'all.
Go give a listen to our friend Jeremy over at Casual Mode Podcast. And now it is time for listener feedback.
Not so epic feedback.
Not so epic feedback.
Not so. In fact, I can actually see all of the feedback on one screen instead of scrolling.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Although we do like the big stuff, people, so, we're not saying we don't like the feedback. We love the feedback in any case.
In any case,
starting off regarding our last episode, episode 60, we had a little conversation about the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the reboot that is being done by Bryan Singer. And to back things up, we had quoted something that he had said where how this movie that he's going to be doing will have sci-fi plot twists culminating in a timeless adventure of all ages, and we were all just kind of like very, very nervous about it. And I made reference to a remake of Andromeda Strain. Well, sadly, I said it was on the Sci-Fi channel, and Brian Arkle-Weber did have to correct me. He says, minor correction, it was A&E that did the Andromeda Strain remake, not Sci-Fi.
Okay.
I stand corrected.
And we sit corrected.
Yes. Then, good friend of the show, Scott Linder, also writes in regarding episode 60. Another wonderful podcast, and welcome back, guys. I also am a little scared about a 20,000 Leagues remake. My wife, I think, will be absolutely horrified.
Yes.
She loves the original. Loved your thoughts on Deadpool as well, and I also thought the part of Blind Al was being played initially by Nichelle Nichols. And then I realized it was Leslie Uggams, but couldn't pull her name out of my head.
Yeah, like us.
Yeah, like us. Yeah. As you said last week, it was when we're reading the credits at the very end with Leslie Uggams. Exactly.
There you go.
And now also regarding the story we just talked about a little bit earlier, Ready Player One, good friend Claire O'Leary simply writes, I have high hopes for this movie. It's a fantastic book. He could be a good Wade. He seems kind of average guy enough. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Well, okay. That's okay. I will take that as a good recommendation. Now, I have not read the book, but I think I will. And another reason I think we should check this out is because of all the 20th century pop culture references.
Yeah, we should.
That's a good. So based on that, based on what you just said, Claire, and the little synopsis that was read earlier in this episode, I think we'll check the book out. Although, Claire, I'm going to put this out to you. Would it be better if we waited for the movie and then read the book, or read the book and then go see the film? Claire, I'm asking you, and asking anybody else who has actually read this book.
Yeah.
What is your opinion?
Let us know.
We'll follow your advice on this.
There we go.
And then, lastly, regarding an article where we said support a new indie film from Pia Thrasher, from Things We Did on Twitter.
Things We Dig.
Things We Dig. Yes, Things We Dig. I'm sorry. Things We Dig. They wrote, thanks for your rad write-up and support.
Yay.
Well, we're happy that we could do that.
Yeah, because we like the appointment. And
Absolutely.
we like you too, Pia.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We love Pia.
Absolutely. And we want to hear from you, our listeners. You are important to us. If you like our show, or even if you dislike it, we want to know what's on your mind. Please comment. But if you do comment, please be civil. We reserve the right to edit or delete comments that do not adhere to our terms of use and privacy policies.
In other words, play nicely.
Exactly. And I apologize for having to say that. You can look up our Facebook page as TG Squared Studios or as TG Geeks Webcast, where you can comment on our episodes and articles we publish. You can even comment on our YouTube episodes or at tggeeks.com directly on the article or episode, and you can receive a shout-out on a future episode. You can also call our listener line. Gosh, if I could talk tonight, it would be wonderful. The listener feedback line, and we'll play your comment on air, 469-TG-GEEKS. That's 469-844-3357.
Hi, this is Pia Thrasher, filmmaker, actress, and artist, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Okay, just a few more things I want to touch on. This first story in this part, this one is pure whimsy.
Yeah.
Now, anybody who knows us personally would also know that we are we're not just geeks about pop culture and things like that. We are Disney geeks.
Huge Disney
Big
geeks.
Time Disney geeks. We do all things Disney. I mean, if you remember the last time we had Jeannie Koch here in the studio, she kept commenting about how there's like Disney stuff all over the house, and that's totally true. We love all things Disney. We love going to the Disney parks, and there is a new attraction over at Disney California Adventure,
And what is
specifically
that?
Cars Land. It is Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters.
Aha!
It has taken the place of Luigi's Flying Tires. Now, Luigi's Flying Tires, for anybody who doesn't know, was sort of a revamp of the old quote-unquote flying saucer ride that opened in Tomorrowland back when Disneyland first opened.
Yep.
It was a flawed ride back then, and it's a flawed ride now.
Yeah, we rode it once.
We rode it once, and that was it. We tried it a second time.
Did we?
Just to see.
Oh, that's right.
And we were more
actually,
underwhelmed.
The first time we rode it was during the opening, and Bob Iger was there.
Right. It was a soft opening.
Yep.
And we got to test it out, and it was okay. Barely okay. And then we tried it again about a year or so later, and it was like less than okay.
Yeah.
And it was just not a popular ride. So they closed it down, and in its place, they put something which I think could be really revolutionary as far as the overall Disneyland resort goes. All I can say is that if you've seen Cars 2,
Dancing cars.
there are dancing cars in there, and that's what we have here. We will have a
Something
link.
like that.
Yeah, we'll have a link for this on our show notes, and that link will take you to a YouTube video that Disney put out advertising Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. It is absolutely amazing. The technology is what I
it's gonna
think
be
is
interesting.
really fascinating by it, because it is a trackless ride.
Yeah.
Now,
Very
Tokyo.
similar to the Tokyo, yeah.
Tokyo has a trackless ride, although theirs I think is a bit more complex, because that's on their Winnie the Pooh ride, and I had heard that each of the cars, or each of the little cars that the guests ride in, are controlled by GPS. Now, I don't know if that's the case here. I think this is not quite as techie as that, but this is still a huge deal. It looks like a blast. I would recommend, if you're a Disney fan, check this link out. See this video. It looks like a lot of fun. It's going through some soft openings right now, but the actual ride will open on March 7th.
Go to it.
Go to it. Now, this next story is about Phoenix Comicon and how they are partnering with Keen Halloween.
Yep.
What? Okay, well, the basic story goes like this. Now, lovers of all things Halloween, local Peoria artists Daniel and Donna Davis of Steam Crow developed a special Halloween convention in 2012 called Keen Halloween. Designed for Halloween lovers of all ages to be a bridge between gory and spooky, Keen Halloween was created to celebrate what so many love about this special holiday. The two-day convention ran in 2012 and 2013 and featured workshops including the, I hope I can pronounce this right, Sugar Calaveras demo, Sugar Skull Makeup 101, Make a Mad Scientist Jars of Doom demo, that's a mouthful, and Zombies Makeup How-To. Attendees could participate in events like Top 5 Haunted Locations in Arizona. That's intriguing. A thriller dance class. Now, of course, everybody likes to, well, not everybody, because I really don't care to, but a lot of people love to do the thriller dance in the Michael Jackson video, so you've got that. And Iron Skull Costume Challenge. This basically, if you're into all things Halloween,
Yep.
this is the event.
And now in 2016.
Absolutely. The Keen Halloween 2016 passes are available now for purchase. Kids 12 and under are free. Full event passes are $25, which is plus applicable taxes and fees. The Saturday-only passes are $20, same applicable additions. And Sunday-only passes are $15.
And it's September 24th and 25th.
And
At the convention center.
At the convention center. And for more information, visit Keen Halloween. That's Keen Halloween.com.
Yep. Do it.
Do it. Absolutely. Now, speaking of Comic-Con.
Yes.
Holy smokes. The announcements are coming faster than I can count.
Unbelievable.
This is really just crazy. Just a couple of days ago, actually 2 days ago, it was announced that Mark Pellegrino would be coming to Phoenix Comicon. Now this
Is he bubbling water in green glass?
Yeah, right. He's an American actor best known for his work as Lucifer in Supernatural. He was the character Jacob in Lost. He was the character Bishop in The American Being Human, and he was Paul Bennett in Dexter, and he is currently a recurring character in the ABC television thriller Quantico, which I'm watching and I'm loving to no end. He was also in the CW series The Tomorrow People. I think it was Tomorrow People. That was an adaptation of a BBC series. The man is everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's not all.
He's going to be here at Phoenix Comicon.
He's going to be here at Phoenix Comicon, but somebody else just got announced.
Yes.
Who was that?
Lindsay Wagner.
And Lee Majors.
Lee Majors.
You've been a good boy, Lee.
Yeah. So we're going to have the $2 million people. Well, both of the $1 million people.
Well, that's $12 million right up there.
$6 million man and Bionic Woman.
Well, actually,
she costs more.
No, actually, she costs less because her parts are smaller.
Oh.
It said that in the show.
Please.
I swear they said that in the series. Her parts are smaller.
So sexist.
Well, yeah. But she could still beat the snot out of any other regular man.
Her other parts were bigger than Lee's, though.
Were they bionic?
Well, who knows?
Bionic boobies.
Bionic boobies. Yeah, the guests at Phoenix Comicon, it's unbelievable. They just continue to wow us.
They're blowing us out of the water. It's only February.
It's not even March yet.
The big guns usually come out right like within a month before Comic-Con takes place. And look who's already been announced.
I know. It's unbelievable.
This is mad.
It's going to be a great Comic-Con. So everybody come.
And I think part of this is because, you know, the way Comic-Con is now finally organized, they've got their own offices. Everybody is now paid staff instead of volunteering.
Yep.
I think
makes a big difference.
I think this makes a huge difference. This, I think, will really set Phoenix Comicon apart. And when people start talking about Comic-Cons, yes, San Diego, New York, I mean, those are always going to be the big ones. But I think Phoenix Comicon, because of guests like these,
we're making a name.
I really think Phoenix Comicon is definitely going to be like right up there, almost synonymous with San Diego. Different than San Diego's, but just as good in quality. I am really, really excited about what they're doing here for Phoenix Comicon. So I would simply say, check it out if you get a chance.
Yeah, they continue to announce guests and activities virtually every day.
I know. It is.
We get regular press releases.
We're getting press releases almost daily now.
And we try to publish everything we get. So please check our website for those press releases.
Absolutely.
There's hotel rooms are still available and memberships are available. Please check tggeeks.com as well as phoenixcomiccon.com for updates.
And we will be there. As we've said before, we are staying at the Hyatt across the street. We're going to have our studio there. And God only knows what that means we're going to do.
Yep. We're going to have some fun. Also, a couple of other things we want to follow up on. We want to let you know of an opportunity to support an independent film. We just talked about it. Pia Thrasher has set up an Indiegogo campaign for her new film, Things We Dig. Pia was the director for the Appointment short film, and we interviewed her in episode 57. So this is her new effort. Go to Indiegogo.com and look up Things We Dig. We will have the link on the show notes.
Also, we want to give a special shout out to the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter. If you want to read the Fancast Guide, all you have to do is go to Twitter and follow them at Talking Who. They post the Fancast Guide every other day, and it's always chock full of really just entertaining goodness. And we also want to give a special shout out to the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News, put out by Social Justice Scald. That is Brian Arkle Weber. And if you want to read the Arkle Times Dispatch News, just go to Twitter and follow him at Arkle. That's Arkle. And Brian also has on Tumblr the incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes. He wants people to go and check those out because it is very entertaining, but definitely not safe for work.
Yes. And we want to give a shout out to The Loki Show. The twins are a hoot, Sasha and Dagmar. Yes. And however, they are have some technical difficulties, so it's going to be a while before they release a new episode.
But they've got plenty of stuff out there.
Tons of episodes out there. Go give them some love on Twitter at Lookie Show and catch the show on YouTube as Lookie Show. If you like old movies and campy comments, this is the show for you.
And lastly, well, not lastly, second to lastly, we want to give a shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes on their page. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. Special thanks to Jeremiah Reeves. He is their moderator. That's such a great group.
It is a great group.
It's a great group. Lots of really, really great photos. In fact, earlier tonight I showed you I have this really great wallpaper on my iPhone. It's Star Wars Legacy done as Tron Legacy.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, I got it from there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people post all kinds of neat stuff.
And
it's
great conversation.
Really cool. Yeah, great conversation about everything. So check out The Gay Geek, and thank you, Jeremiah. And lastly, we want to alert you to the Amazon ads on our site. Rather than ask for money, we decided to try Amazon ads. We have several static widgets on the right-hand side of each page, as well as ads at the bottom of each article. Now, we've tried to stay as unobtrusive as possible with these, and if you could do us a favor and at least click on one of our ads every so often, it tells Amazon we are getting traffic on our site, and if you buy something from Amazon, we get a small commission, and we thank you for understanding about putting ads on the site. Well, next time, I don't know. We have no idea. So we'll figure it out when we get there. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.